So we have some news out of Minneapolis. Omar Fateh, a 35-year-old Democratic socialist and member of the Minnesota State Senate, secured his party's nomination for mayor of Minneapolis. So they do it a little bit different for their mayoral races. They don't have a primary election. They have a convention in which the candidates must secure at least 60% of the delegation's votes to secure the party's nomination. And he won the nomination over a two-term incumbent. This is another example of what has happened in New York with Zoran Mamdani going up against Cuomo, and also pretty much with AOC against Joe Crowley. So this is a huge wave that's continuously happening with Democratic Socialists winning party nominations in all these different cities over centrist politicians. So let me talk to you guys a little bit about Omar Fateh. On his website, he says, since Mayor Frey was elected, Minneapolis has become less safe and less vibrant. He has failed to house our unsheltered neighbors, failed to implement meaningful reforms to police, and he has vetoed one good solution after another. The mayor has failed to meet the needs of our changing society. It doesn't have to be this way. We need a mayor with a plan to unlock the city's unmet potential. So you might ask, what has Omar Fateh accomplished while he was in the Minnesota State Senate? But he's authored 54 bills in 2021 and 22, including one to legalize fentanyl test strips, leading to over 100,000 kits distributed and 89% of users taking overdose prevention actions. He chaired higher education and served as vice chair of human services after Democrats gained state control in 2022. He sponsored a statewide living wage bill for Uber Lyft drivers, though it was vetoed by the governor. He pushed for tuition-free public college for families earning $80K or less, plus increased hunger grants. So he's running on a lot of different progressive issues and policies. He wants to raise the minimum wage to $20 an hour by 2028. He wants to freeze rents, enact tenant purchase rights, and curb corporate landlords. He wants to reform public safety and enforce state and federal consent decrees, invest in non-police crisis responses. So pretty much behavioral crisis teams responding to, mental situations or people who are going through a mental crises. He wants to advance carbon fees, invest in climate resilience. He wants to expand safe streets. He wants to launch a small business office. He wants to block ICE police cooperation and strengthen immigrant legal counsel, secure funding for Trans Equity Summit, LGBTQ+/BIPOC services, and so much more. His opponent is challenging the results of the endorsement and wants a do-over. So the party is going to review it and pretty much see what comes out of this. So historically, endorsements can energize campaigns, but they don't bind voters. But, it shows that, hey, this is the person we want. And that does carry a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? So if your party decides to endorse you over the current incumbent of a major city, that's a big deal. So the party and the delegates that granted you this nomination obviously are not satisfied with the job that the current mayor is doing if they're going to pretty much turn their back on him. This is amazing to see, because I think people are waking up to the fact that these centrists and corporate capitalistic policies are not benefiting people. People are realizing that their lives are not getting any better. Things are not getting any cheaper. The streets suck, right? The public transit system is broken. People don't have much job protection. They're getting stuck into these slumlord situations, and they're trying to this just is a broader conversation on where the country is headed. I didn't think that something like this would happen again after Zoran Mamdani, and let alone so close. But I mean, Zoran Mamdani is 33? This dude is 35. You know what I'm saying? It's a younger age of Democratic Socialists coming into power and stepping into their power and really speaking to voters and bringing a different outlook on the way that we are running things in this country. So, I'm excited to see where this goes for him. I believe he's going to win in November. Like I said, they just do their state convention and the voters just vote during the general election. There's no primary election. I think that he's going to do it. I think he's going to be the next mayor of Minneapolis.